Hey, so there's a few things that I wanted to talk about today that will help you in your life, in your everyday life. One of the things was the topic or the idea of always feeling like you're not where you want to be or that you should be somewhere different. And I'm here to tell you that there truly is a divine intelligence, and it's rooted in love. And this intelligence is facilitating a set of experiences for us from the moment that we're born until the time that we release this body temple. There is a certain set of experiences that we are going to have as a soul, having a human experience, that are going to grow us in some way. And this divine intelligence is facilitating those experiences for us. And this is not by any means to say that we deserved the bad thing that we went through. What I am here to say is that regardless of how challenging the experiences have been throughout my life, and I wrote a whole book about them because there's that many of them that I can't necessarily just sit down and have a conversation with people about what I've been through, right? But they're in a small enough book where you can read this book in a night, right? It is a bit of a page turn. I wrote the book so that you could know that if I can get through it, if she can get through it and arrive at a level of healing and sense of peace and still be inspired to continue to create in her life, then you can do it too. So one of the overall lessons that came because of everything that I've been through is to let go of the idea that there was something wrong. What if there was something incredibly right that was happening? And what if we're here to discover a bigger version of ourselves, somebody that we have not yet met because we have not yet become? And so everything that it is that I had to walk through in life is facilitating my ability to get to know myself as a whole, every single thing. And when I release my resistance to it of this is wrong and this shouldn't be happening, then I become available to what is seeking to be cultivated as I walk through each thing. And usually I discover that I have access to more love on the other side of an experience that may have been incredibly challenging. So, for example, my dad and I had been estranged for 23 years, and he found me in 2018 on Facebook. And it took me a long time to give in to going to see him again because there was a lot of resentment. And so this journey with my dad has been unfolding for um, the last 7 years. And there's been the healing has occurred in bits and pieces and layers over time. And I'm one of those people that says, see, I must be healed because I was able to do this, or I must be better because. So I do it like in bite-sized pieces, my healing, right? My having to walk through the difficulty of the now. But it doesn't mean that because I took those steps that showed up at that time that I'm all the way done. So a couple of years ago in 2021, my siblings and I had gotten together and we decided that we wanted to relocate my dad and his wife, their mother, from the Sonoran Desert, where the heat is 120 degrees, and they lived in a very poor house made out of wood planks, right? So there was a spigot in the front yard from where they got their water, kind of thing. But it was just very poor, very, very poor. So between four of us, we decided that we would each chip in $100 and pay for them to have an apartment. And we relocated them to Rosarito. So he's now a few blocks away from the ocean, right, as opposed to living in the desert. And so in 2021, what I was saying to myself was, see, I must be healed. I participated in this. And yet every time that he reached out to me and either wanted to talk to me or just wanted to ask me for more money, right, because they needed something, there was a resentment that was churning inside of me. Each time I would see his name pop up on my phone, it'd be like, oh, he must want something again. Churn, churn, churn. So I went to see him in 2021 after we relocated them to go see the apartment. And then I had not been back since. So this year, when I turned 54 last May, I went to Sedona and attended a 3-day retreat in preparation for what I now call the Love Pilgrimage. And I decided to go and visit all of the people where I still felt something that would churn inside of me every time I thought about them or got a phone call from them. And it started off with my dad. And so I went to go see him. But this time, there wasn't a heap of stuff that needed healing. I went with the intention of simply being present, of just going to go, not needing him to be any kind of way. I just wanted to go and experience myself in his presence because I had never experienced her before, or if I had, it wasn't since I was a toddler. Because I did used to like to hang out with my dad in the backyard, hang out with him and his friends, when they were throwing back some beers on a Friday afternoon after work. But I had not experienced that version of myself since. Right? It's been 50 something years. So while I was there were a set of circumstances that unfolded that triggered anger for me. And so I had to constantly make a conscious choice to be love and allow space for the anger, right? Not bypassing it. It's like this is pissing me off. I'm pissed. And I still want to be love. So at one point we went to the market and we bought food, and Jesse and I set up the barbecuer outside. And my dad has limited mobility. He's in a wheelchair now. And he rolled his wheelchair outside. And he sat down next to me, and we brought him a bowl of beans and served him some meat. And I got to sit with my dad the way I used to when I was a toddler. Nobody needed to do anything other than simply be themselves. I got to be me, and he got to be him. And with that, a chapter closed on how life has had to be for the two of us. And now I get to write a new chapter when it comes to my dad. So the invitation is this. When these emotions come up for you, you don't necessarily need to jump in your car and go visit your parents or whomever it is that you've had the challenging experience with. Here's part of what has allowed me to heal enough to be able to go and do that. When there's a pain in your heart, when there's a lump in your throat, wherein there is a knot in your stomach, instead of allowing the mind to go off and immediately start writing the story as to who is to blame for you feeling that way, if you could stay present with yourself and drop from your mind into the part of the body where you're feeling it and simply start breathing through that area of the body. And if you can, muster up some love so that you're held in a container of love as you are going about the alchemical process of transmuting these emotions that are at their base an energy. You will transmute densities that will allow you to dissolve these densities, and then you will be able to show up in life in a way that will allow you to experience a version of yourself that you've never seen before. So that is my share for today. Be sure to sign up on my website at cynthiaambrose.org to get the newsletters where I'll share more tools. I don't know how to teach any other way than from my personal experiences. So if that's not your cup of tea, I understand. But if it is, I share only from a place of wanting you to be able to see how the teaching and the technique can play out in everyday life. That is who I am and what I do. So, namaste. Here is to a beautiful, powerful healing journey.